All right, we heard yesterday about how Cole Ballard has kind of staked a claim for the number 3 spot. Just what have you seen from him that's been so impressive?
The ability to process information quickly. It's really hard for young kids, to learn a different offense that fast, to be able to process all the new vocabulary, and being able to process it. Because no huddle is sometimes easier with those teams signals and where you go. When your team has uses wristbands and huddles and stuff, you got to communicate to people. Sometimes longer plays, and then as you communicate, walk up the line of scrimmage, make sure are we aligned, who's motion, who's moving, all that stuff that makes us so fun offensively, so diverse offensively, and he picked it up really well. So that's the biggest thing. Besides, he's a talented young man, obviously, but the ability to process it. All the years I've coached, all young kids are all at different levels of being able to process information. That's what I call it functional intelligence. How much information can you process in a short period of time? And some guys do it quickly, some guys take a little while. And that's okay. So it's really neat about that. He just has done it really, really fast. It's pretty impressive.
With Cole, what did you see from him when you guys were recruiting him? What were some of his traits that stood out?
Strong arm, athlete, he's a baseball player too. I think he threw, I don't mean to be misquoted, it was like a low 90 fastball type kid. So a strong arm, tough, and you can see on tape where you can run, be a physical kid, and just had that. And his dad's that kind of guy, obviously, and played at college, and a tough guy, and a heck of a, doing a great job with the Colts, obviously. But I think he saw that kind of stuff. And then, the ability to, and then he's won games when he was in high school and stuff. I think that's the kind of thing that stood out.
For you with Mikey Pollock too, that's another
Yeah.
off-season addition.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know you recruited him somewhat out of high school, but when the opportunity came to go back after him, was it a no-brainer? What was that conversation?
No, it's really good. It's good because, obviously, Coach K, and we all know about him and seen him play. I watched him. Sometimes I used to play like St. Joseph's or something. I can't remember who it was. They got after him pretty good. But it was good to get him because he's a multi-sport kid too. Now another baseball player, football type kid, athlete, bigger body. And the neat thing about those kids are they coming in. They're not 180-pound kids. They're 205 or 10 or whatever. They're bigger type kids. That helps them kind of jump into the fray a little bit. And Mike's obviously been through it, been a year in a different program. So it's exciting. It's good to get those, especially being a local kid as well. It's pretty awesome.
Lance had a lot of praise yesterday for being, and I just wondered from your perspective, when you first got him and saw him.
First got him, what you mean, first got him 3 years ago? Got him?
Yeah, absolutely. So what he is now.
He is probably, I'll say this, I don't know how to say this properly, for all the years I've coached, and it's a lot more years than I thought. I've been thinking about, damn, it's 30 years or something. But all the guys, he might have made the most progress in terms of just, now, a couple things, exceptionally fast and had a rocket arm. So those two things, it's not like all of a sudden this arm strength came out of, no. He had an unbelievably strong arm, unbelievably fast. The thing he's done, what's been really fun here is Coach K is calling the offense, and he's awesome. I get a chance to coach quarterbacks. A lot of times you go to places where quarterback guys are coordinators and they don't get as much time. And these kids now all have personal quarterback guys, right? And that's awesome. Well, here in our operator, Andy's so awesome what he does. It gives me a chance to just coach quarterbacks and basically train them, for lack of a better word, and do more and be able to watch more like, oh, Jason, you're overstriding, you got a little long stride, which is making your release long. Let's work on that. Now they have to do all the work. It's not like me going, hey, okay, but I can just look at things and see things like this and watch all the games being played now and our RPO stuff and our platform stuff and all this stuff, see what our kids need to work on and find a drill that kind of makes it work, and then they go and do it and do it and do it. And I'm not a million drill guy. I'm like, these few drills, you just continually do them over and over, it just starts clicking. And it just started clicking for him. He's so much more, I use the word loose a lot. He's just more loose. And you watch last year he played. Before it's kind of more rigid, still straight line fast, obviously. But kind of something now it's like he can off-platform stuff and making plays. Jalen makes it look really easy sometimes. And Jason's kind of got fun, can make those things down. That's what's been so proud. I'm so happy. But like I said before, it's cool to be able to give them drills and do drills with them, but they have to do the work. It's not like, hey, and that's what I'm so proud of. People sometimes look at him as such a nice kid. You talk to him, and sometimes they might give off the ability to how much does he really work at. He works at it so hard, and he's so driven, and he wants to be so good. He wants to, and he showed when he went and played last year. So that's been so awesome. So I'm so proud of him. I really am.
Can you point to one thing that opened the door for that kind of progress that he had?
You know what I think a little bit, and we talk about this a lot, myself and Andy and staff, and Coach Leipold, is I think as you get a taste of it your first year, you get thrust into a tough situation, obviously, and then Jalen goes in and starts going. All of a sudden, you get a chance to kind of sit back, but then you get to keep working and start competing, and maybe not as much pressure, whatever word you want to use, a little more like, and now you can kind of and go back and then just start seeing things and things start making sense. He's like different. Like those two, Jalen picks stuff up really fast, or really intelligent. Like we talked about Cole. Jason just takes a little longer to process the information. Not in a bad way. Like it takes him a little while. Everyone's different. Well, now it's just all of a sudden. Well, once it went boom, and you start feeling, hey, I can make these tough throws and gain confidence in some different throws. So I think it's kind of like that second season, just being able to not be starting, and kind of, and then he goes in there, and I think it's whoever Tennessee Tech's first game. I apologize. I'm getting so into the here we go into the season, but he got a chance to go in there. Now had a lead goes in there, he just runs for a touchdown. Where he does throw like boom, anytime went in there, boom, and then he got a chance to go. And I think that was the moment was him going back out there, Tennessee Tech, and wow, this game slowed down.
Yeah, cool.
And that makes sense. Like it slowed down, and then he's like, and then he got in. He's like, hey, I can go. And he goes to TCU and throws 4 touchdowns in the second half or whatever he does. I'm like, okay, so I guess you're. And I think, and that was a really moment. I think that moment, like the specific what Coley kind of pulled him, was going in at halftime, conceptually right around halftime of the TCU game, and just going pretty crazy in the second half. And then I think he realized like, yeah, I can do this.
Cool.
You know, because he had flashes that first year of Oklahoma and stuff like that, but all of a sudden, boom, and he just kind of went.
With Jalen having to get in a lot of what you guys would call mental reps, what are the things that you're having him emphasize during that period?
He still does a lot of film study stuff and stuff. So it was good for the summertime, him knowing that he wanted to work on defensive recognition, getting that stuff, keep working on protection and blitz type stuff, all the stuff that kind of stuff been really good. And then also going back and showing all the mistakes. It's kind of neat with all the tape you have now to break down every play he ran and say, okay, here's these certain number of plays that we made mistakes on, let's fix those. And so you just watch the plays where he made maybe a poor throw or a bad read, and that's what you can kind of concentrate on and build off of that. So that's what we've been really harping on. And then really truly, like Andy said, understanding the why. We're big, Andy does a great job, and we do a great job trying to explain to the kids the why of what we're doing. And he's starting to understand the why we're running this type of option or this type of play or this type. And that kind of makes it, I see it. Here's why we probably now run this play because of this guy in the alley or whatever. That's the part we're kind of harping on really a lot right now. Really a lot. I don't know the right way to say it. A lot.
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes is such a dynamic player, but technically, fundamentally, his footwork, his arm angles, 20 years ago, quarterback coaches would have gotten nuts because it's not point and throw. What kind of a trickle down has that had for your college quarterbacks, high school guys, when they see it's okay to do this, it's okay to throw in my body?
No, it's a great deal. I've learned, it's funny you've said that because we spent a ton of time, I did. What kind of changed me was when we were at Buffalo, not changed me, but made me open up a lot to that, was at the time at Buffalo, and I think it was right around COVID, unfortunately, but it was like you had a lot of time to watch tape, and like you're stuck, and all of a sudden, we're going, hey, the game's changed a little bit. You got Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes, and those are my two big, a lot more. They got those two guys that are all off platform, being able to sidearm and not old school step at your target or outside your target, being able to throw like this and make those kind of plays. Studying them and seeing the mechanical issue of how they can do it has changed a ton. It's unbelievable how much those type of things have changed the way we coach and the type of throws we make and need to make. The game's changed. The RPO world has done that a little bit too. I think that has done. I think it's a great point that has taught. That has made me teach differently or teach different things and really work on those kind of things and study those kind of guys and realize you can do it. And the neat thing about a lot of those guys is it's a baseball background a little bit, like Kyler Murray too, and like the guys that have those baseball and all the stuff, point guards in basketball, all the stuff that have that, we call it spatial awareness, but then the ability to make those kind of throws, which no way back in the day you were allowed to be benched. Now it's like commonplace. Now it's like, I watch those guys, Mahomes and Aaron are unbelievable. They can be standing and make a 15-yard throw just doing that, not having to step bolt throw. So that's what you see Jalen and Jason, those guys doing. That's what we work on now. Having the ability to be able to make those kind of throws, because defenses are so good now and they're so fast. It's not like you have a ton of time anyway, and you're going to have to escape and move and group. There's not a lot of time anymore where old school drop back in a 5 or 7 step drop and sit back there forever. You just can't do it anymore as much as the old school way, old school days. Now it's like that's a big part of what happens to football. So you coach it. So you're a great point, and I coach it a lot. And we spend a lot of, you ever come out and watch drill, it's always some type of movement, escape type plays that are going to be in a game and be able to throw against your body stuff you weren't allowed to do, that now those guys make a commonplace doing that kind of stuff. So we work on it. I think it's starting to show all around, but for these guys, Jalen makes it look pretty easy, and Jason, those guys just kind of keep doing it, it kind of becomes easier, for lack of better words. Great question. Yeah, thank you, fellas, all. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.